Hello everyone, in the sixth video of this series I will continue to build the external and the internal partitions of this villa, and specifically try to show you some of the details that I have noticed here that we need to take care of, which is the type of windows and the type of openings that's used by this architect in this video. So if I'm trying to to finish the whole partitions and external walls, and if I couldn't have enough time, I don't want to make it long videos, so probably I will just finish a part of it. But what we have so far is this shot to explain what happened here in the inside courtyard. And as you see, the camera has been placed here to be exactly. That's the first floor. So if I want to go to the ground floor, it has been placed here exactly. So you see the tree on your right, and straight behind it, there's a big continuous window. That's the big continuous window here. And on the other side, there will be, if you go to the first floor, this lonely side window, which is this one. So it might be a great idea if you go to view, and from the 3D view add your own camera, and that's how things is actually been shown in this video. So I'm gonna just increase the size a little bit, and it should be actually here. So what happening again is, of course, the camera will be disappear as long as you create it, and you have to, if you want to see its location, you have to go ahead and select it in the 3D view, and then right click on it and show camera if you want to see it. And when you deselect, it's gonna disappear anyway, if you don't know how to show the camera, because that might be new for you. And now notice that it's a little bit pain to work without a copy of the existing wall. So I'm gonna go to the ground floor and then select everything that I can select, and from the filter check none, and I'm gonna have just the walls. Now copy this guy here, don't use this one, and then just place it to selected level and just throw it all on level 1. And if you remember, at some point I just hit VV in earlier videos, and I just chose to make the walls to be shown red when you cut them. Less paint to the eyes, and it's easy to be distinguished when you have the black walls in the background. And as you see, this wall is actually on the first floor. It's going all the way like an overhang based on the ground floor. So the ground floor is what we have as walls from the ground floor here, copied to the first floor. And again, if you follow the camera here, you're gonna see that we're talking about something here. So back to the topic here, that's the picture. You see this is being cantilevered a little bit, and so is this, and you can see there is a wide depth here in the window, and the same thing in this side. It's actually even wider in this area, and that happened due to that this whole mass is like 2 walls exactly, and you are cutting here where you see the windows. If I select this guy, the wall, you see that's the window here. So undo, of course. So we need to model this. That means that there's a wall here and there's a wall behind that actually window fixed to it. So first, it's a white wall here, and in the 3D you can see that we have a gray sorry, it's a beige, just finishing material representing the wood. So it might be the good idea and the good time now to select this guy and edit type and just duplicate it. So instead of we having 10 millimeter of 20 millimeter of wood, I'll just keep the same overall 20 plus 10, which is 30, and instead of wood I'm just gonna go rendered. I just don't need to any type of render screed probably, and then remove the 10. keeping the rest. So the actual width of the overall wall will not change, and probably we need to add a white paint membrane here, and again just to distinguish that. So we have a white paint on both sides. That's what makes sense, I think, and it's just look like a paint here for me. So again, edit that. So instead of this, which is the wood, I'm just gonna add a paint here, same interior paint, and it has 0 thickness, and it's of course it's okay, now it's set. Just give it anything for now, and change that to membrane, and then get back to 0. And this guy will have to be its exterior finish, so finish 4, and I'm just gonna have separate here, and it will be the whole 30 millimeter. So that's 0, that's 30, and that's the white paints on both sides. Hit OK, and then hit OK again. See this? Now this guy is actually been switched. It doesn't look like anything white, so probably you gotta select it, and maybe I don't want to go into the material so much. It's really long story, so not now, of course. So that's the white thing, and probably in the appearance or in the graphic, it depends on what you want, and show in the rendered or a higher quality. Let's see if it's been changed here a little bit, I think. Anyway, so if I go to, let's see, that's anyway. So I'm gonna keep this. I'm not gonna change the rendered or the appearance of that. It's just I don't want to waste more time on it. But just taking a good consideration that this will be a paint on both sides. Now back to the topic. This again, that's been prepared. Now probably need to go to level 1, and I'm gonna go this and match property, especially to this one and this one and this one. So I'm gonna try to work on the internal, courtyard of it, and don't get into the trap that this is and this is different. It's just the same color, but again the shading thing, like if you rotate the camera, you're gonna see it's different, and depend on where is the sun, and it's gonna change how you see this and that the same. But when you change again, you see that light and that dark. It's just a shading method, so don't think that this is darker than that. It's just the way where the light goes. If you need, turn off the light, and then I think you need to make this constant color in order to get a better color that you need to think about later on. As I'm trying to say, no worries about the materials now. Back to this level 1. I'm gonna select that. I'm actually gonna copy it and move it straight to like a 600 mil, probably little bit more. 600, I think it's enough, but I'm just gonna move it probably 50. I don't know. Yep, a little bit. And then in here, probably pushing the fine so you understand where is the exterior face, which is the whole 30 mil, is actually happening. Now I will go to this guy, or even this guy, and just copy it downward. Let's say 1 meter, and then probably we need to get rid of all that height, or that length, sorry. So that's so far so good. If you want to add an inner dimension and make that based on the inner dimension, it's 800 mil, so it's perfectly okay. Make sure that this is the external face. Same thing here, right click, create similar, and great. So just select this and make it 800, and then remove the dimension. So that's it. Now we have 2 walls. So if you look at it from this angle, that's the double thing, and exactly that's the wall and that's the wall. Now you need to make the opening in it, but before you have to place the window. So back to level 1 and architecture window. I'm gonna go for the fixed one, just duplicate that. But before, it might make more sense if you just measured the inner gap that you want to make a custom, 4100 millimeter window that goes all the way one plane, one panel here, one glass panel, big one. Now again, window, duplicate. So duplicate that guy, make it 4100 multiplied by, let's say, 2500. I have no idea about how high it is, but I'm just assuming. So the height again 2500, the default, let's go 500 mil cell, and the width is just the crazy number that we get from the plan, and that's it. And I'm just gonna place that. Probably we need a space in here, and then an innocent click. Another space. Yep, that's better to make the frame to the inside, and that's almost done. Now we need to open this. So what I'm gonna do is to go to east elevation, and then just edit the type, picking the thing here. I'm gonna pick those lines, and I'm gonna finish the selection. So now what we have, is it actually better if we clear, or if we actually looked at it from the camera? So in the camera it's something like that, and I don't know, I didn't like it, to be honest. Here, see, so those openings are in front of each other exactly as we get from the east elevation, but we really need to close this gap, and also to close this gap, and the same thing here. And that's because you see there is nothing here, you don't see the opening. There's a slab here, and the same thing. I'm just assuming that we have on the other side. Probably this is a landscape or like a flower bed, but I'm just gonna assume it's a closed box like this. So again, just back to the plan, and probably it would be the good time to drag that section line here and have a look at the section line. See, so you either go and stretch this and push it to that side, but if you select it and have a look, it's have a 30 mil tiles as an interior finish, and this guy here is technically it's just a gypsum board, which is really wrong to be used in external environment. The same thing we've done here, probably the mistake. So if I go back here, I did that, I think, because that's a finish 4. See here, it's a gypsum board. So this is also should be actually been replaced, and it's completely outside. And the problem that I didn't change that it's actually been fully enclosed, plus it will be the same as this material. So even this, in order to make it sense, you have to change it, and to make this wall is separated with a full 30 mil of a rendered instead of this one. So probably it's the time to do that, to separate those from each other. Just edit that if you want, duplicate that and cancel, make this 30 mil, I don't know, and then go and remove the whole thing here. It's just 30 mil, and then paint and remove that if you want. So that's finish 4, this finish 4 again, that's the membrane, so this is, we need it no more, and this guy will be the security thing. Probably I should keep the old one that I deleted, and it's just 30 mil, as you can see, with finish 4, because it's exterior on both sides, there's no interior in that, while this guy is the one that actually have the internal and external things. The same thing you can do here. You can go and just go to create a flow temporary. I'm going to click big line, and then this line, and then this line, and this line, of course. Alright, I'm going to leave that on level 1. And oops, oh yeah, that didn't trim properly. How about now? Yeah, don't join. No. Let's go back to section and have a look what's happening here. This is exactly the same slab you can exactly use in here, so you can keep it if you like, or again you can just nitpicking and duplicate that and just add again rendered a 30 mil of rendering and a white or a paint, just white paint, and that's it. And add for it, that's a finish 5, and in this case it's not actually a finish 5, it's finish 4. Let's say assume it's external, and there's no tile, so I have to go back and change that probably. So I'm going to insert here, push that down, no substrates, it's just again finish, exterior finish, which is finish 4, and I'm going to use the thick reed here. I'm going to add 30 mil, so this is again thick reed, 30 mil, and I have no idea. Let's go and make it finish 4 again, and this guy I'll make it just membrane and just make it 0. So this is again a white paint, just as crazy as possible, and the same thing here. So what I'm doing is actually having probably the name, same thing. So just a paint, and then a 30 mil of any type of whatever you want to call it, rendering. So that's, as you can see, it's just for some reason it's not. Wait a minute. It should be just a plain continuity of what we have. We have 30 and then we have 20. Oh god, that's why. And we have 20 and 30 again. So probably we need just I don't know. I'm gonna just change that to 50, and here I'm gonna change that to 50. I'm too lazy to make them 2 layers, and of course change the name quickly, and that's it. So it will be starting and ending in the same thing with this combination as a one material. Now we have the slab has been created, and now if we go to the perspective, now we see this is different, you know, like it's a different material and different looking, and you have to fix this issue. Probably going to show more in realistic, and anyway, so we really need to take care of that. And the best thing is, again, to go back to section and join them. So select this guy here, and then select join and add this to it. And now, if you have a look, that's is not reaching that level. So you can go ahead and you know, just let's try the first this to fix this issue. I'm gonna go back to level 1 and edit the boundary of that, and probably push this line to start actually in the finishes, so leaving this to move to the a little back toward the external core instead of the external finish. Let's get this, ignore that now, get back to the section again. Let's see if it's working. So it's not working actually, and this guy need to go down a little bit more. So I can just drag that down till it's match this, and you can see now that the finish is perfectly going down, and I messed up the whole thing in the east elevation. So probably I need to go to the east elevation and edit the boundary, push that up, and I don't know, for some reason this is just moved, so I'm just gonna fix everything back and then get back to section. Now it's look nice. That's the renders actually goes all the way with the paint. And now we have to do the same thing on the top side. It is, and we're gonna do that when we add the slab, but this is almost like a nice join here. So if I select this and rotate it, you will not see the join, you will not see the slabs, completely concealed, and there is nothing in here. See, if you change that to constant, almost nothing, and you get back that, and I think the shader is making this issue again. It's all the horizontal almost have a better lit than the vertical one. So back to it here. Now we need to make sure that there is another slab exactly at the top of it. So I'm gonna have a copy, and then a little bit sound crazy, it's aligned to the same place. So I'm gonna copy the slab and place it in the same location, and Revit go nuts and tell you they are overlapping. Just ignore it, and then just push that like the amount of distance we have is just like a 500 mil. And again, do the join trick. See, immediately this goes all the way. And if it doesn't, as a wall, probably if it doesn't wrap correctly, you need to, you know, pick up the layer and just choose exterior wrapping. That might solve lots of problems for you. Let's go ahead and look at the 3D. See, now see, there is no, leaving aside that, there is no difference in, probably I will turn off that. Yep, so that's just actually been wrapped that way and giving you, you know, a good continuous surface here that have that on the both side we have the same material, as you can see here. And again, you can just go ahead and see if you need to wrap that, and probably just add this to the exterior wrapped, and you know, to get the same exact without the same material, without the differences. And again, don't forget that the difference between the shaders. So anyway, now we got the whole surface lit in the same amount, and you see the reflection and the grade and the shade difference between this line, same in this, between this point of the wall and this point of the slab, and they are both different from the one that we got in here. Anyhow, now the same thing, go back to the section, and probably this again to be copied and then placed in the same location, ignoring this warning message. I'm pushing that, let's say 3000, I don't know how much, and yeah, we need more, so probably 3. Yep, and then just select and do the join trick. If the join trick just that doesn't make sense, just choose this, you know, switch join order in order to place one of them in the place of the other. And again, if you select that and rotate that down, so now you should see there is no difference exactly between this material and this material, and it's all fully rotated correctly. Ignore this line, is just because it's actually a physical existed line, but it won't be shown as if you rendered that image. Same thing in here, there is a line, but there's no difference in the material. So as you see now, guys, we did the box, the window box that consume actually a significant amount of time, and the same technique you have to use sadly by your own. I'm not going to make the whole windows in the same technique because it's going to take forever. I'm going to get back to you when I finish, you know, the whole outside of this villa. So try to use the same technique and follow the plans that we have. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. Wish you having all the best. Bye bye.